Yes, I'm Stéphane Malrait. I'm the chairman of ACI Financial Market Association. This is my night job. I have a day job. I'm a head of market structure and innovation at ING Bank.
Wonderful. And what does ACI Global do? Tell us what it is.
ACI Financial Market Association is probably the oldest financial market association in the world. It's very interesting into its setup because it's a group of 60 different national associations. So in a lot of countries, you have, like we are today in Scandinavia, you have ACI Denmark, we have ACI in France, we have ACI in Spain, in Portugal, we have in Africa, in Ghana, for example, we have in Singapore. So we have different regions in the world, the Middle East, Africa, Asia, and Europe. Each national association has their own statute, attributes, members, and ACI Financial Market Association is a global umbrella to consolidate all those local associations.
Wonderful. And what do you guys focus on nowadays? What are you going to do for the next 12 months?
So there's quite a lot of activity at ACI based on different working groups and based on the feedback we get from the National Association. So we have a very long outstanding working group on FX. So this working group is the biggest and the most active. They look at different FX topics. So they talk about T+1, how it will impact the FX market. They talk about WMR, the fixing, how it could be improve or what are the potential issues with fixing there. There is a working group on regulation, global regulation, how global regulation in payment can or impact the industry globally. So the work doing at IOSCO level or the FSB and get some input from that. We reply to consultation paper on a global basis to represent our members. There is a working group on digital assets. So this is a new working group we created a few years ago, very active. So we mixed digital native, crypto native institution with more traditional banks and try to educate each other. So this is very active and interesting working groups. We also have a working group in money market, mainly focusing on Europe, EMEC, where we work with different national associations on those topics. And then we create new working group. We just launched Women in Global Financial Market working groups. We had a lot of applications for this working group, so it's in big demand. I think we are going to do a lot around that focus. Those also exist at national level. So there is a women network in a different association national level, but we wanted to create an international organization and group there. And then we just created a strategy working group to look at ACI is almost 70 years old. So what are the next things we are to look at? And we'll look at membership. It's an individual based membership level for ACI. Some countries have different models, so we're going to look at that. We meet every 6 months at group level. So that's why this week we met in Copenhagen. 6 months ago, we were in Singapore for the World Congress. So quite active on this front. Keep me busy.
And lastly, can you tell us a bit about the T+1 paper and work you guys do?
Yes, so we did some analysis of the impact of T+1 for the FX market, and we published a paper was quite well received globally. We sent it to central banks, we sent it to our own members, of course, but to everyone, right? So the goal of the association is not to be restricted, to represent the market in general and globally. There is not that many trading associations who are doing that. On this, we found that while the FX market functions very well and be able to adapt to any type of change on the reduction of settlement cycle from T+2 to T+1, it's going probably to change the market practice. How do you operate? So Asian investor wanted to buy stocks or bonds during US hours will have a reduction of their settlement. And so the FX component of that, either they will have to move their execution to during US hours, or they may have to outsource their execution to a custodian, or they have to use algorithmic execution, or they can also do T+0 on the next day. So they have a lot of different options available on the market. But what we don't know yet is which one will be the norm, how it's going to evolve. So it's going to be a wait and see mode. It's happening at the end of May for the US. So we are going to follow that very closely in June and July and discuss it in our next meeting. And then we are going to also to discuss what will be the impact for all other regions. We know Europe and the UK are looking at that now, how to get engaged into those topics. And also Asia. Asia is moving, India is already moved to T+1, China moved to T+1. They are evaluating how to move to T0 in India and China. So how it's going to impact the FX market that. So it's one of a very good topic. And yeah, everybody who didn't read that paper, they can find it at our website, on the ACFMA website.
Wonderful. And do you expect the transition to be smooth?
It's hard to tell, but it's intriguing because when you talk to asset manager or even banks, they still look at each other with a question mark. Even 1 month to go, everything technically is ready, but since we don't know, the asset manager is telling us, well, it's up to you as a bank to tell us what you need. And the banks are telling their clients, no, it's you are in the lead here because you have to change the way you do the allocation process, the confirmation process. You are in the lead. You are going to decide how you move your execution. Do you move your execution in the US? Do you have the US close after 4 p.m. in the US? Or do you keep your execution local to the country or with the banks you are? So it's very hard to know how it's going to be. So I'm a bit worried, to be honest. I think the first week is going to be a bit chaotic. After it's going to slow down and get. So it's going to be a very intense period, beginning of June, to see the impact and to see how big. We don't even know how big the impact is going to be.
Well, we'll catch up in 6 months' time and see.
Yes, with pleasure. Thank you for the
Thank you.
invitation.